gentlemen, today we're going to be doing a 2022 gaming setup tour. I think it's time. Let's go. And actually, before we get any farther into this video, I want to personally say, I am not a tech wizard. I do not know every single little detailed spec of each and every piece of component that I have, but I can tell you the majority of it so that way you can understand how great the piece is and why I have it, and if you want to invest in it in yourself, then I highly recommend it. So first things first is the gaming PC. This is a Digital Storm Lynx Level 4 from 2019. So this is actually the technical first Level 4 Lynx that Digital Storm made. So this doesn't have the same components that any other ones have nowadays, but let's just go through a quick rundown of what it has in components. So in a little bit here, I'll let you guys look at the internal components. Like actually, I'll come with you, because I don't want you to steal this PC, but I'll bring you guys into the PC literally. I want to list off the components because this PC is a beauty, but I've had to put some upgrades in it. But we'll get to the upgrades after the whole listing. So, first off, the CPU, or the processor, has an Intel i7-9700K. Very nice processor, but I'm not gonna lie, with the stuff I do, it's kind of, I think, burning itself out. I have a 2070 RTX graphics card. Now, this graphics card is probably one of the worst on the market because it's a turbine or blower system type instead of a fan cooling system. It just means it's loud, and it doesn't do very well, especially when you're gaming. It messes up audio. This has a 750 watt power supply. It's a decent power supply. Then the motherboard is a Asus Z390, I believe, so it's a very nice motherboard, once again. It's got the CPU liquid cooling. I mean, it's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got 2 terabytes of SSD. It's got 500 gigabytes of hard drive space. Let's see, what else am I missing? I think that's honestly it. But long story short, what I just said there with the 32 gigabytes of RAM, as well as the 2 terabytes of SSD, those are the upgrades, which we will talk about now. So when I bought this PC, it was one of those things where I knew for a fact I was going to have to upgrade at some point. And it'd be the upgrading of the tinier components that wouldn't be super expensive. Obviously, I hope in the future I can get a 30 series, or even just buy a new PC. I also hope I can get a new processor, but that's a long shot, because honestly, I don't want to go through the whole situation of cleaning thermal paste and hoping I don't break pins. So in total, I spent about a little over $2,000 on this PC, but then in upgrades, probably another $200 or $300. So I got, instead of 8 gigabytes of RAM, I actually put in 16 more, so in total it's 32. I have actually 2 working SSD slots, which means that the first SSD, I actually kind of had to do some configuration there, put in Windows 10 again, and it was a whole mess. Long story short, I have 2 working SSDs. One SSD is in the motherboard, and then the other one's actually in an adapter that's in a GPU slot underneath the original GPU. It's kind of weird. I don't think anybody really does that, but they're both working properly. So I have 2 terabytes of SSD, and it's phenomenal. So first things first, this is what I'm talking about with the SSD. So I don't know if you guys can see this all that well. Right here is actually an SSD and an adapter that is plugged into the second GPU slot. That is fully working. Now, it doesn't have any operating systems on it, but then if we go up here, this is actually a heatsink, which I believe is actually falling off, but this is the brand new one that I got, and it's actually 10 times better because it reads so much faster. It's like 5,600 megabytes per second versus I think 3,200 down here. So this was the original one, this is the new one. Now this one here, no joke, that has an operating system. It was a mess, like I said. Then we have the RAM here, we have CPU cooling, and then we have this disgusting GPU, which again, guys, if you can see this, that's a turbine cooling system. It literally spins a fan to suck in the air to then blow off the GPU unit to actually, cool off the chip, and it sucks. By the way, that was no pun intended, but as you can see, there's been a little bit of an upgrade since the last kind of whole gaming setup tour, because I didn't have all that stuff beforehand. I literally just got the new SSD implemented within the last 6 to 7 months. The RAM probably within the last year, so there's some new upgrades still coming. So next we're gonna go on to audio. So these are really affordable and really nice. These are by Sennheiser. These are the HD280 Pros. These are noise canceling headphones, and they're wired. They have a coiled wire to them, and they're a 3.5 millimeter head jack. It is probably the best pair of headphones I've ever had. I've had Bluetooth, I've had other wired headphones, such as actually these Sonys that are in here, and honestly, these guys were kind of trash. Now, believe it or not, even though these are Sennheiser, these are actually $99. You can get them on Amazon anywhere. Really nice comfort system. I mean, literally, they sound amazing. I use these for editing, gaming, everything. You can hear literally all the smallest details. So then, now that we got the headphones, now the other audio part is the mic, and this is the brand new thing, the most visibly external part of the change in this whole gaming setup is we have the Shure SM7B. It's a dynamic microphone. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. I love this thing to death. Now, one thing I actually need to do is get the pop filter, because this is just a windscreen pretty much. Now, it does kind of help with the pops, but like I do a little like all the time, even when I'm just talking. So like I need that thing. It looks like a big old earmuff. So again, SM7B. Then we have a Rode boom arm, which honestly I just kind of want to be bougie and treat myself to a nice Rode versus just like an off-brander. We got just a normal XLR cable. Then we have the Focusrite audio interface. This is a Solo. I think it's called the Scarlett Solo. So this means that it only has one input and output for an XLR cable, but it has your 2 gains. It has your 48 volt frequency there, and then you have your air button. I don't know what the INST does, but then you have your monitor and then direct monitor, a whole bunch of different things. It's great. Like this thing for 130 bucks, I think it was beautiful. Then I wanted to be a little bit more bougie, and I got a cloud lifter. This is an off-brander. It's by Coda Music Technologies, and like I said, an off-brander. The other one's literally named cloud lifter. This one, it's been all right. Like, I did a whole video on it. I don't really think it changed much, but then again, maybe I'm just not tuned in with the whole audio thing. But I mean, again, with these, I feel like I should have been able to hear a huge difference, but I didn't. So I'm still trying to convince myself that it was worth the price, because it was like 90 bucks. I'm just gonna say it was, so that when I review this video, I don't end up returning it. I'm still contemplating it. It hasn't really proven me anything. So we got all the audio stuff, which I believe that is a solid dub. Now, I think what it's time to do is go into the keyboard and mouse, because these guys, huge advancements. I think the last one I showed you guys, I was at a Final Mouse Ultralight 2 K-Town, which I do indeed still have. By the way, I still have a mint condition one, still in the unopened package, shipping, label, box, and everything. That could possibly be a giveaway if we ever hit 10,000 subscribers. Also, I obviously stopped using it because my hand is just, I think, a little too big for it. So what we did instead, we went with a Model O wireless, and honestly, this mouse has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's like the reliability of it is so nice. The response time's beautiful. The scroll wheel feels nice. The click feel nice. It's only 2 side buttons. It's a full-size mouse, so like it just feels so good to me. Which I also forgot to mention, pretty much all this stuff has its own review video to it. So if you do want to go check it out, like all the specs and my honest thoughts about it, then go watch it. I'll probably link at least half of the videos down in the description, and if not, then I'm sure you could just find it and just type it into my channel or whatnot. You'll be able to see it. So now we go into the keyboard. This is a coiled USB-C to USB coiled cable, and I'm not gonna lie, it just looks cool. I don't really think it serves a greater purpose than if you were to go with the normal one, but it just looks cool because like it attaches this way and you have to like unscrew it and whatnot. So I mean, yeah, I think just use your imagination for that one. So then we have the Matrix keyboard here. I'm not gonna lie, not a fan of it, but I'm still using it because your boy's broke, and these videos aren't paying for themselves quite yet. So when that ever happens, we'll get a new keyboard, because I don't really like Matrix keyboards. Again, I did a whole review over them, but I'll just say this, their customer service, awful. Like the worst I've ever seen from a company, and in the entire existence I've been alive. Their quality, you're better off with a Ducky, I'll admit. Even though the Ducky, I know that I showed you in another video that I had to kind of resolder the little switches. I haven't had to do that with the Matrix, but the Matrix also is broken down in so many software ways that I can't even fix it. And the software that they apparently have downloaded for it, it just doesn't work. It's a long and complex thing. That's the one thing I don't like about gaming, is that sometimes when you're a PC player and you have a nice mouse, you have a nice keyboard, sometimes even like the audio section over there, it's just sometimes you have extra downloads that can help you, but they just don't work, which I know makes no sense, but I'm not the company. But anyways, if you guys were wondering, this is a 60% keyboard, meaning it's 60% of an actual full keyboard. It doesn't have your number pad or anything. I literally switched from a full to a 60 and have never gone back. I don't care about keyframing and whatnot. I love 60%ers. I like to have space, and obviously you can see the mouse pad's quite dirty. I eat on it and everything, and Coda jumps up on it. So that's why it's kind of dirty. I haven't cleaned it. I probably should have cleaned it for this video though. because, you know, maybe it's gonna depict how long you guys view this video. Moving on to the monitors, we now have 2 instead of 3. I used to have 3 because I used to stream a lot. I obviously just don't care to stream. I'd rather make the YouTube videos and put all my time and effort into that than stream. So since this is now a 2 monitor setup, we have an Asus Tough Gaming. It's a VG259QM, I believe. I think that's the model name to it. I'll put a link in the description for it because I love this monitor. So this monitor, believe it or not, can overclock to 280 hertz. I don't recommend doing that, but you can. I've never done it. It has a whole bunch of other different specs to it. Again, I've made a whole video on it, so just go find out all the specs. It's a beautiful monitor. The price was right. I think it was like $500, and it was just stupidly beautiful. And I honestly wish that I could try out the Asus ROG, because I believe those things are 10 times better than the Tough Gaming. I can't wait when the budget's friendly, or when the budget's friendlier. Then we got the HP 25X. Actually, I did kind of a video on this. I felt like it broke, but I somehow repaired it, and I took it apart, which I didn't show, but it's good now. Fun fact, I've had this monitor here for I think 4 years, and this thing goes to 144 hertz, which is good because, I mean, anything that's below 144 hertz is kind of whack. You're better off just purchasing something for 144 hertz or above, because you're just gonna be more budget friendly and cost efficient, so highly recommend that. And last but not least, we got the Logitech Brio webcam. This guy, obviously, you guys know, it shoots in 4K 60 FPS. It's beautiful. The webcam is like top notch to any other webcam in existence. Got its own separate power cable on the back, so you can literally unplug it and be safe, so you don't have creeps looking through. I mean, I don't really have to say anything much more about it, because obviously you guys already know, like, if you're into webcams, if you're into streaming, it's beautiful. Obviously you can hook up any type of camera like this that I'm shooting with. It'll work the same. It'll obviously be better, but it's more expensive to do that. The thing was probably like $250, I'm not gonna lie. It's an expensive webcam, but it's 110% worth it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the entire setup tour. Obviously, you guys have seen huge changes. Not only in audio, but we got literally the PC. Like, you guys, like, I got all brand new components. Like, it's beautiful now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, I haven't promoted this in a really long time, but if you actually go to mechanicalkeyboards.com, you can actually find ducky keyboards and very nice mouse pads, as well as mice themselves, keycaps, switches, pretty much the whole 9 yards for keyboard and mouse players. You can also probably find some PC parts on there, but I'm not too certain. They've updated their whole site and whatnot, but link will be down in the description as well as everything else, so go ahead and enjoy. Hopefully I can get back into these tech things. Like I said, tech vlogs. I don't want to make it super specific to tech, but, you know, at least if I can do it in incorporation of 2 passions in one, that's beautiful, and I would love that, and I appreciate all of your support if you don't mind. I kind of screwed up on this channel, and I really want to make sure that one of these years is successful for me, you know, whether it be year 7 or year 9. Anyways, again, setup has changed quite a bit. It looks absolutely stunning, and I think you guys hopefully will enjoy this, because this is my dream mic right here. No joke. I've wanted this mic since they came out, and I wish I could say the same thing on the keyboard and mouse, but I still haven't found the dream of those guys yet. I don't have a lot of dreams here except for the audio part. So again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Peace.